Good evening. It looks like we do not have a member of the Ministerial Alliance here with us this evening. So first, we will stand for a moment of silence. Okay, thank you. Now, tonight, we have a little bit something special. We have the Boy Scouts Troop 266. They're going to present the colors, so they're going to come in now, and then they are going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Color guard attention. Audience, please rise. Scouts salute. Those not in uniform, please place your right hand over your heart. Color guard forward, march. Color guard hold. Color guard cross the colors. Please recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color guard, please post the colors. Two. Dismissed.
Good evening. I call to order the September 7th, 2021 Board of Aldermen meeting. City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Brad Alexander.
Present.
Jeremy Taylor.
Here.
Brandy Carroll.
Here.
Jim Shrout.
Here.
Kim Vickers.
Here.
Kelly Netto.
Here.
Mayor Dana Webb.
Here. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is new business, deletions, or continuances. We do not have any of those, so we will move on to public comments. City Clerk, do we have anyone this evening? No. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a consent agenda. These items are considered on the consent agenda so that members of the Board of Aldermen, by unanimous consent, can designate routine items to be approved in one motion. Tonight, we have the approval of the August 16th, 2021 Board of Aldermen meeting minutes, and we have expenditures through September 1st, 2021.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is unfinished business. We do not have any of that this evening, so we will move on to new business. Our first item is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a request from Darren Selke, Activities Director of Oak Grove High School, for the approval of the homecoming parade on Friday, October 1st, 2021, and also approving the bonfire to be held on Wednesday, September 29th at the high school.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the request from the school. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding an ordinance approving Fifth Amendment to the Community Center Services Agreement between Mid-America Regional Council and the City of Oak Grove, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement. Who has that? Do you have that, Mr. Madsen?
Yes, thank you. It's
Thank
similar to every year, just this time there's a one-time change with the addition of a possible tables and chairs grant. We haven't officially been awarded the letter or notice to proceed, but since it's in the budget, typically it's got to get budgeted before it can be approved, so things are looking good.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions?
I make a motion that we approve the amendment of community service agreement with MARC.
So we,
Oh, wait.
it's an
It's
ordinance.
the ordinance. I
So we
apologize.
need a,
Yes.
you're okay, you're okay. So we need a motion for the first and second reading of the proposed ordinance by title only, but I need you to say that.
I make a motion that we approve the first and second reading by title only.
Second.
Okay? We have a motion for the first and second reading of the proposed ordinance by title only. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. City Clerk, would you please read the full bill 2 times?
An ordinance approving a Fifth Amendment to the Community Center Services Agreement between Mid-America Regional Council and the City of Oak Grove, Missouri, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement. An ordinance approving a Fifth Amendment to the Community Center Services Agreement between the Mid-America Regional Council and the City of Oak Grove, Missouri, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement.
Thank you. So now I'm waiting for,
Make a motion to approve the first and second reading by title only and for adoption.
Second.
we have a motion and a second for the adoption of the ordinance. Any discussion? City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Brad Alexander,
Yes.
Jeremy Taylor.
Yes.
Brandy Carroll,
Yes.
Jim Shrout,
Yes.
Kim Vickers,
Yes.
Kelly Neto.
Yes.
The motion is approved and the ordinance is adopted. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding approval to submit a grant application request for Missouri Department of Public Safety 2022 Officer Safety Equipment and Technology. Would that be you, Captain?
Yes, Mayor,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The request is to submit application to this grant in hopes that the grant will support the purchase of what's called a wrap, which is an item that would be used by officers both in the field and in detention to control an arrested individual who's kicking, fighting, butting their head, so forth. And it is an item that quickly and easily can control the individual so that they don't get injured, the officers don't get injured, and equipment does not get damaged, which we have seen in the past. This is an item that's had over 2 decades of proven use of reducing injuries and minimizing the risk for all who are involved. So that is our goal, to get possibly 2 of these items.
Thank you.
I make a motion, we approve the grant application request for the Missouri Department of Public Safety 2022 Officer Safety Equipment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the grant application for the Missouri Department of Public Safety. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a presentation to redistrict city wards due to the 2020 census results. Mr. Randall, that would be you, correct?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So every 10 years, corresponding with the results of the U.S. Census, cities must review their ward districts to ensure the districts are equally represented. The best practice to ensure the legality of districts is to follow the criteria of population equity, compact districts in contiguous territory, meaning that you shouldn't gerrymander the districts, you should try to keep them as compact as possible. Retention of the existing neighborhoods, so if you have a particular neighborhood, you don't necessarily want to divide that neighborhood. Retention of precinct boundaries, meaning looking at your current map and maintaining those boundaries as close as possible. Cohesion of existing communities of interest, meaning you're not purposefully going in and redistricting folks for a particular purpose. Desire to retain historic boundaries of those districts, and then consideration of incumbents in their wards. Essentially, every effort should be made to make sure the districts are equal in population with making as few changes as possible. So according to the 2020 census, block data files. The current Oak Grove population per ward is about 3,130 in Ward 1, about 2,500 in Ward 2, and then about 2,500 in Ward 3. The courts generally accept that wards are equal if they do not deviate by more than 10%. So as long as the largest district and the smallest district don't deviate by more than 10% in population. Our current districts with the new updated 2020 census information shows that we deviate by about 25%. So best practice would indicate that we should redistrict the wards. And we would need to move about 400 population from Ward 1 and add about 200 to each Ward 2 and Ward 3. The process for redistricting is that the Board of Aldermen should pass an ordinance identifying the ward districts. The entire census this year is a little bit behind because of COVID. So typically we would get these numbers in March. These numbers didn't come out until August. And yet we need to get these numbers, these wards redrawn for the upcoming elections. We've received a letter from the Jackson County Election Commission. They are requesting that we have the new districts to them by October 15th.
Wow.
So we have a short turnaround time. I will say a shout out to our Public Works Director, Tom Degenhart. He's quite good with GIS and with taking census block data information, and he's already inputted that into the system so that we can go in there and tweak the districts as we need to. So the presentation tonight is also to request from the board and to direct staff is how do you want to do this process. You could direct staff to follow those 7 components, bring back to the board a recommendation for new wards, or the board could decide to form a committee and you know, elect a couple of representatives to do that. One caveat to that would be that if the board does that, then it would be in a formal committee and would be subject to open meetings and things like that. So that would have to be a posted public meeting.
Which takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Could potentially
We're on a
take
time crunch, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the current wards, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
The map that is up here and in your packet is the current ward map.
Was that changed 10 years ago, or has that been, it was?
It was changed 10 years
Okay.
ago. Yes.
We'll also need to take into consideration upcoming development that's already going to happen in Ward 1.
On the north side.
Yeah.
Do you have to take that into consideration, since you're supposed to be using census data? Like, do you plan for future? How do they recommend we?
Right, so it's a snapshot in time, so you really should look at what the current numbers have.
Right now, not what we might get in 10 years.
Right, but I mean, some consideration could be
Yeah,
made for if
absolutely. I
you
was-
know that you've got areas that are going to be growing, that maybe you might try to split those amongst the wards. That could be a decision that could go into it.
So do you have a proposal, or are you just looking for direction from us to?
To start the process.
Yeah, we don't have a proposal tonight for the board. If that is the direction, we could certainly create that proposed ward map and bring it to the next meeting.
I mean, I think due to the time restrictions alone, and the fact that, I mean, pretty much everything that we need to consider, you guys need to consider literally right there. My choice would be to recommend that you guys come up with a proposal on how we should redistrict these, to bring them back, and then let us look over them.
Do you want them to bring them back to the next meeting, or do you want to have a special called meeting between now and the next meeting? Just a thought.
I'm fine with the next meeting. We have one, not next week, the week after, right? Like, there's no crazy holiday I don't know about, okay. But, I mean, that's my vote.
What was the time frame for getting it back?
15.
October 15th. So
Okay.
if we brought back a proposal to next meeting and the board had some feedback, some changes that they would like to
We
see.
still
we
have
could-
one more meeting
Right.
to, okay,
Yeah.
We do.
that's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
What are we waiting
Do we
on?
need a,
So
don't need a
at this point,
motion, do we?
at this point, we just need to let them know we want to direct city staff to come back to the next meeting with the proposed.
Is that what everybody else thinks?
Are you
Yeah,
all,
yes,
Yeah.
on board with that.
John, do we have to take a vote on that, or should we take do something, a motion?
Directing staff, I mean, you could just tell them, I'd say just do a motion.
Okay.
Okay, I make a
Then go ahead.
motion, oh, sorry. I make a motion that we direct staff to utilize the data, the guidance that Matt mentioned and that's in the packet to redraw the boundaries lines for the wards to better meet the requirements from the election board. There we go. And bring it to us next meeting.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to direct staff to look over the ward maps. I'm not going to be able to repeat exactly what Kelly
I
said.
don't even know. I think I started sweating. I don't even know what
Okay.
that.
To look over the ward maps, and please bring it back for the board to review at the next meeting. Okay. Is that good enough?
There
All
you
right,
go.
thanks.
There we go. We got it.
All right. Let me get back to the agenda here just a moment.
Lord, it's voting.
You did it, that's all that counts.
I was gonna
All right,
say.
thank you, Mr. Randall. The next item on the agenda are
We need to
You made the
vote.
motions.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
excuse
we
me.
gotta vote.
Yeah, I got so wrapped up in the motion. Thank you, everyone. So there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I'm proud of you guys. You kept me on track there. Good job.
Takes a team.
Yeah. All right, so the next item on the agenda is information reports. Mr. Randall, do you have one?
Just that I will be attending the NPR Midwest Public Risk Conference this week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Thank you. City Attorney, do you have a report?
No, just happy to be here again tonight and see how it goes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mark, do you have a report?
Just that the Web Park siren is back in full service with new batteries.
Very good. Thank you for that update. Captain, do you have a report?
Just want to remind everybody on the 24th,
Third?
23rd, thank you. I've been getting it wrong almost every time I say it. Thursday, the 23rd, we will have the Night Out Against Crime, and it is coming together very well. It should be a fabulous evening, and we've ordered just wonderful weather that we're expecting.
Awesome.
Don't jinx it. You just jinxed it.
Thank you. Tom, do you have a report?
I just want to have a shout out to the Boy Scouts for doing a fine job on the flag ceremony. And I too also will be attending the NPR conference this week.
Great, thank you. Kim, do you have a report?
Thanks to the Boy Scouts for attending tonight. We always enjoy seeing them here. And I too will be at the NPR conference.
Great, thank you. Scott, do you have a report?
This Saturday is the last day of the pool for the Doggy Day. I will not be attending the conference, so no report after that. Thanks.
All right, thank you. We're going to start down here. Brad, do you have a report?
Yeah, I was just going to say that hopefully by this time next week, they will have successfully finished my 10-hour surgery and removed all the cancerous tumor I have in my roof of my mouth and my right gum. And so I'll probably miss the next meeting because for the next 10 days afterwards, I'll be eating through a tube in my nose and breathing through a trach. So I probably won't miss the next meeting, and after that, I'll have to wait and see. But I have the utmost confidence in this board to continue on the path that we are going on at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be praying for you. I want to thank the Boy Scouts for coming and doing this. This was nice. I didn't know about the conference, or I would have gone. I need reminders that are not emails. Just joking.
Jeremy, do you have a report?
Just welcome to the Boy Scouts. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Jim?
I just want to say thank you, Boy Scouts, for coming in. That was a very good presentation. I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Kelly?
I too want to thank you guys for coming and doing that. I know sitting through these meetings can be really boring, but watching you guys present the colors and flags it's an honor for us. So we really, really appreciate it. I want to thank Tom for all the work you've already done regarding the redistricting. I don't know. So excited about the Night Out Against Crime. It's an amazing event, and I cannot wait to attend it. And Brad, I did not know about your diagnosis, and you will definitely be in my thoughts and prayers. That's all I got.
Kim, do you have a report?
Thank you to the Boy Scouts. It was very enjoyable. I'm glad that you're here tonight. And same, Brad, you'll be in our thoughts and prayers.
Thank you.
Yes. Just to let you guys know, tonight, the Scouts actually just came just to observe. It's part of what they do. It's something they have to do is observe. And tonight, I saw them here and asked them if they would present the colors. So it's always a great thing, and they just did it for us. So you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome anytime. We love it. We would love to have you at every meeting, but we know that's not possible. So anytime you show up, you know I'm going to ask you to do it. All right. Well, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
A motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes, and we are adjourned. You guys got the giggles down there tonight.
Stumble through everything you say in front of the whole, world.